This is not the first time the production has dropped the ball. You want to tell me this man made it past your checks and balances? This emotionally unstable man made it past your checks and balances, got on the show after your multiple rounds of interviews, broke down on international television because a woman won't be intimate with him.
What jolts you awake? What keeps you up? Hey, touch me if you can.
Hello and welcome to Life Lessons and Confession, the channel where we figure out our power by figuring out ourselves. My name is Paola. Whether you're new or returning, welcome. Please don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification. Alright, so I'm going to continue with our review of Love is Blind USA Season 9, Colorado. And this will be a review of episode 4 through 6. Alright, so episode 6 begins with Edmund and Calibria meet. By the end of episode 5, they almost met. So episode 6 is when they meet. And they're so cute, so adorable. Edmund is still quirky and a bit odd. Generally, I have positive vibes. But I don't know, something fell off after I just heard him yell. It's just, for me personally, a man who yells is just a big no-no. But she does seem to like him. However, she did say he might wear her out. I don't know. I feel like that was a premonition. So moving from that, we go back to the parts where Nick and Kate finally have a normal discussion about something. Because remember, Nick is the one with just a Rolodex of compliments. Just a bunch of compliments that can apply to anyone. They finally talk about religion and their family. And Kate discloses that her mother has passed away of colon cancer. I cannot even imagine what that is like. And after that has happened, she went to the season where she couldn't believe in a God because of what has happened to her mother, which everybody processes grief differently, so I definitely understand. Nick shares that he's very close with his father. His father is a role model and his father is the one he looks up to. He hopes to eventually have a marriage similar to what his father has with his mother. Nick and Annie talk and Nick says he has never cheated on anyone and he's an open book. Nick, I don't know who you're lying to. We, the viewers, were not being bamboozled by that. And it might be because she can't see you, but Nick, you're not an open book. You have a Rolodex compliment for every single girl you meet. It's clear to us it doesn't matter who the girl is. After their conversation, Nick poses a hypothetical question to Annie. He asks her how would she react if they end up being married and they have a child who is a part of the LGBTQ community. After this question, everything clicked for me. I was like, okay, now I'm starting to put the pieces together. Now I understand why you have a Rolodex of compliments for the same girl. It's starting to make sense. Annie's answer was, it was an answer, all right? It wasn't necessarily pro LGBTQ or against. Not bad, but not impressive. That was the answer. And he agreed with her. He shared that there was a time when he just felt sad and down. And for some reason, for some unknown reason, his mother quietly asked to talk to him. And she asked him if he was part of the LGBTQ community. Everything makes sense. From the, I'm not going to pick up my sword and my shield. I want a non-traditional. Yeah. Listen, I was born in a country till this day will still prosecute people who are from the LGBTQ. I actually do not believe anyone should be coming out. I know coming out can be empowering for some, but I just feel like if me as a straight person, it is not required for me to come out, why should it be required for someone in the LGBTQ to come out? However, in that same breath, I know coming out can be empowering for some folks. I get that. However, I believe the non-traditional marriage Nick is talking about is actually this type of marriage. And I'm just going to put a flower here. Use your imagination or use Google. Now, everything makes sense. I already knew Nick did not have a sword and shield. Now I know why. Brendan and Annie talk and they do have a really weird convo. But compared to Nick, Brendan is probably the best show. I mean, at this point, it's like, I don't actually think Brendan likes Annie. Okay. Brendan is giving me he's going around to get along. Maybe it's because he's more reserved, more chill and laid back. Maybe that's why I'm getting that message. But compared to Nick, even if we want to be shallow and just look at looks, compared to Nick, it's obvious who the winner is. Casey and Patrick talk, and Casey talks about how her ex wanted her to be a part of a reality TV show to just put her name out there. It would be good advertisement. This kind of throws Patrick off for a loop. He asks if Love is Blind is what was recommended to her ex, and she does say yes. And I'm kind of looking at Casey like, now I'm like, Casey, did I actually misjudge you as a mature person? Because she has said she's very look-based, but she's also alluded to the fact that she wanted to change it. I don't know how y'all are look-based. Let me be quiet. After that conversation about the reality TV show, she talks about how before coming to Love is Blind, she made sure to get herself a landing strip. This was such a disgusting conversation for me. Like, I am sorry. This is too intimate. I do not need to know what your nether region look like. I do not need to know that. This is too much. I mean, Patrick is a guy. Whenever you introduce SCX in a conversation with a man, he's gonna catch it. Duh. But he did look uncomfortable. What is wrong with y'all? I think she was probably feeling like he was pulling away, so she had to reel him in with something. And she just decided to introduce that. It's like, no wonder you're dealing with F-boys. If you're leading with that, or whenever you feel like they're pulling away, you're like, well, you can't have fun with me, then yeah, they're only going to see you as a fun girl. I'm not saying physical intimacy is bad, but it's just too much. This is international stage. No one needs to know what your down region looks like. I'm sorry. Why is that picture in my head now? That is so disgusting. Some of y'all need to learn how to really be quiet and stop sharing too much. It's not that much to ask. You don't have to share that much. After that conversation, the camera pans to Nick and Kate. He breaks up with her because of, well, it's nothing. He claims it's religion. Even though she did tell him she's spiritual and she's not religious. And she did say when her mother passed away, she was doubting her fate because she was like, how could God take my mother away like this? Like, these are stuff she has expressed, but he breaks up with her because of religion. I think it's a different reason. It's clearly because he sees he's not going to have this type of arrangement with Kate. And then we pan to the other part. Annie and Brendan are talking, and she breaks up with Brendan because of Nick. Annie, like, listen, my rainbow radar might not be all the way functional. Sometimes I do miss signs, but this is a very obvious sign. Okay, Annie, you're going to break up with Brendan, who actually has a sword and shield. It might be a bit rusty because he's reserved and more quiet side, and he's probably giving me the type of guy who will only use the sword and shield when push comes to shove. You're gonna break up with him for someone who has none. She says Nick reassures her. Nick gives you empty compliments. They mean nothing. He said the exact same thing to Kate. So we're going to episode 4. Annie and Brendan talk again, and Annie says he should have fought for her. And I do agree, Brendan was a bit passive compared to Nick, but Nick is just saying a bunch of empty stuff. They mean nothing. They literally mean absolutely nothing. But she went with him. So after the landing strip situation, Patrick proposed to Casey because, well, she introduced herself as fun girl. It's like, yeah, I'll choose you, fun girl. He proposes to Casey. Both of them meet. Initial meeting, Casey is just kissing him, pecking his whole entire face. I'm like, okay, she's clearly interested in him. They sit in the corner. Patrick forgets to propose. I'm just like, Patrick, come on, man. Before Patrick, Joe forgot to propose because he's not interested in Madison. All right. And now Patrick forgot to propose. I'm just like, come on, Patrick. He does propose. They sit by the woman's entrance. They drink. And by the end of their meetup, Patrick walks away and Casey just walks in the corner. She doesn't look back. She doesn't look at him. Nothing. And I'm just like, what is going on? When you met this man, Casey, you were all over him. There have been women who've met men and they were just like, not now. We're not even kissing. We're not touching. We're not nothing. Why are you doing all of that for someone you're not attracted to? That is so bizarre. Like, is this what some of you men actually have to deal with? These type of mixed signals? Because that's so annoying. I personally do not like indecisive people, but this isn't even indecision. It's literally you saying something to my face and then behind my back, you're saying something else. That is gross behavior. That is disgusting and gross behavior. After this scene, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, Casey, if you were not interested in this man, just like previous women on Love is Blind, you could have just said, you need time to process. Like, you don't actually have to kiss someone you're not interested in. It's not by force. So Megan breaks off with Mike and I am so excited. Yes, Megan, yes. She breaks it off with Mike. She says she needs to follow her heart and not her mind. She has always followed her mind and it has led her to douchebags and arrogant people. And I'm like, yes, Megan. Unfortunately, it is very unfortunate. As a sapiosexual myself, there was a time when I did follow my mind and tried to get my intellectual equal, but because of misogyny and how men are raised, they think they are the only smart person in the world. They are arrogant. It's not even confidence. It is overtly arrogant, douchey. And because you are a woman, even though you're smart, they still treat you like ish. Okay, I know there are some of you smart men out there who do not treat every woman like a piece of caca. I'm not that obtuse. However, there's too many of you who do. And it is this arrogance of thinking, I am God's gift to the earth. My intelligence is going to change the world. And it probably will. But don't treat people like they're a piece of dookie. This is why from the get-go, I did not like Mike. I know where this path leads. The arrogance, the douchiness, the feeling of entitlement because of their intelligence, as if they're the only intelligent person in the room. It's really annoying. I was happy Megan broke it off with Mike and she went with Jester Jordan. So Jordan proposes. Megan says yes. They meet. It's cute. Jordan did also take his time to not propose to Megan. I didn't like that at all. Again, love is blind. As soon as you meet, you get on one knee at the man, you propose, and it's like, yay. And you put the ring on her. That's it. I didn't like it, but I liked their conversation and I genuinely like how well they get along. So our couples of this season are Nick and Annie, Jordan and Megan, Madison and Joe, Calibria and Edmund, Eleni and Anton, and Patrick and Casey. So those are our couples of the season. So episode 6 begins and Casey is in tears. She doesn't want to go to Baja. She is in tears and she meets up with Patrick. She's in tears. She talks about how she's overwhelmed. The show is too much. So in his head, he's just thinking she's having a difficult time. She jumps on him, wraps her legs around him, tongues him down, and says he has nothing to worry about. It's just the show is so overwhelming and she just has to go back home. It's so overwhelming. So he's thinking, okay, well, it's all right. We don't have to go to Baja. It doesn't mean our relationship is comatose. Doesn't mean our relationship is dead. But like, going to Baja is just going to Baja. Don't worry about it. Take time, recalibrate, recuperate, and we can go along with our relationship. And she is just crying. She's almost going to leave. She rushes back, jumps back on him, tongues him down, pegs him down, and goes away. This woman has the audacity and the unmitigated gall to come in front of the camera to the viewers and says she is not attracted to Patrick. What the freak was that? That actually pissed me off. Why are some of y'all doing the absolute most with people you don't like? I don't understand this. After this scene, I realized I am an angel. Yes, I am going to go on record and say I am an angel. I have been told things because of my directness and my so-called bluntness, but damn it, that is better than this. What in the mixed signals is going on? I will be able to miss this. Usually, I dislike indecisive folks, so when they don't give me a concrete answer, I'm already packing my bags and I'm gone. I don't have time for that. Give me an answer. But this, I was shocked. My jaw dropped. This is what you do to someone you're not attracted to. Casey, now I know why men don't take you seriously. I know why they don't take you seriously. You don't take yourself seriously, darling. Casey, the reason why men do not take you seriously is because you don't take yourself seriously. Granted, there are a lot of immature men who just want to have fun. That is a thing. I do admit that. However, you need a lot of maturing to do. You're in your 30s, man. Grow up. At your big age, this is what you're doing with someone you are not attracted to. You are not the first person on Love is Blind to say you're not attracted to someone. And you're not going to be the last. But when I saw this, I was just like, Patrick was right. Patrick needs to be vindicated. I am sorry. I was talking out the side of my neck, Patrick. I didn't know you were dealing with this. This is crazy. But to have an honest conversation, though, how did she think Patrick would look? Because to me, Patrick looks like the average Asian man. He doesn't look like a K-pop star or a K-pop actor or even a Chinese drama actor. He doesn't look like that. Because those are people who look exceptionally beautiful or hot. He looks like the average Asian guy. Casey, listen, I'm not trying to be mean, but to call a spade, she looks like an average white girl. Okay, she's no Alini. Alini falls into that camp of exceptionally beautiful white woman. Did she think she was gonna get an exceptionally beautiful Asian man? Or exceptionally handsome Asian man? Like, now, if you look like Casey, I'm not saying you're ugly, okay? Not to be mean, the word is unremarkable. Not bad, but not impressive. And I'm not trying to be mean. But it's like, when I see both of them together, I'm like, two average people together. What's wrong with that? And even if you are an average woman, it's okay for you to not like an average man. That's fine. Did she think she was gonna get a K-pop idol? I guess because her sister sings in Korea, so surrounded by K-pop idols, she thought she was going to get a K-pop idol. Like, Casey, be for real. And even if you find out Patrick is not a K-pop idol, which he's not, he's an average Asian guy. Average is okay. That is not how you handle that situation. Patrick, I am sorry. One advice I would give you is move out of Colorado. Probably go to California. They have a big Asian population over there. Maybe you have better luck there. I don't know. I was shocked. I was actually shocked. Now, moving on to Baja, Mexico, with our couples and Casey dropping out because she's not physically attracted to Patrick. Alini is disappointed by her 5K ring. Anton said he had to spend a good 5K on that ring, and Alini is like, you should have spent at least 10K. And I'm just like, Alini, girl, you want a man with a big heart and an even bigger wallet, don't you? I know a woman like that when I see one, and there's nothing wrong with that. Of course you want someone with a big heart and an even bigger wallet. Times are hard. What's a girl to do? Times are hard. Yes, the heart first. Wallet is a very close second. So Joe finally talks to the camera and says he is used to dating thin women. We're so shocked you're not interested in Madison because of the way she looks. You have a lot of standard for someone who does not look exceptional. Anyway, so Edmund and Calibria talk. She brings up this hypothetical situation of her being at the bar, a man grabbing her. How will Edmund react? And he says he will basically call security, walk away. So try to de-escalate the situation. She doesn't like that. I guess she wants someone who is going to get angry and punch the guy who grabbed her. Granted, I do understand, all right? As a woman, being grabbed without your consent, very scary, especially in a bar. I get it, Calibria. However, de-escalation is also a part of protection. I don't want girls to go around thinking the only way for a man to protect you is for him to punch someone else in the face. De-escalation is also a part of protection. And us as women, we do it all the time when we try to play nice. We nice our way out of situation. We try to de-escalate it so we can run away. The name of the game is fight or flight. When you're in a dangerous situation, fight or flight. Flighting or running away or calling security is also a part of protection and survival. So please do not feel like the only way someone can protect you is by fighting. Although I understand where she was coming from, I was just like, okay, Calibria, the only type of protection is not just someone punching someone else. He could be hurt. You could be hurt even more. Like, it is always better to de-escalate the situation if you can. And once your back is against the wall, by all means, fight your way through. I get what she was saying. She wants a protector. She's tired of, now she wants someone who's going to support her and be there for her. I get it, but de-escalation is also support. I just wanted to put that out there. Listen, after watching this episode, I'm definitely not on Edmund's side, but I did want to make this clear. So the girls and the guys go to the pool party, the infamous pool party. They separate into men and women. The women, all they talk about is apparently sex. I'm just like, and then no other points of conversation. The guys also talk about it, but they also have the most basic, shallow conversation ever. They were shallow in the part, so. And they found out that Edmund and Calibria are the only couple who has not been physically intimate yet. Mind you, these people just met 2 days ago. Edmund and Calibria are the only couple who haven't been physically intimate yet. Okay. During this pool party, Joe gets inebriated and he decides to excuse himself because he's messed up. Honestly, the whole Joe being inebriated thing, I'm like, is he actually drunk or is he playing a game? I don't understand what's happening. Anyway, so he excuses himself. Calibria and Edmund go back to their hotel room and she talks to him about how he feels being the only guy who has not been physically intimate yet. He didn't know this. He thought it was him and Calibria and Alini and Anton were the ones who hadn't. Now that he's hearing for the very first time, he's the only one. He shatters. It is like his glass masculinity just shatters. He crumbles into a little kid, throws an entire tantrum over the fact that he is so nice. He has rubbed her feet twice a day. How dare she not give him physical intimacy? This is not real. This is not the first time the production has dropped the ball. You want to tell me this man made it past your checks and balances? This emotionally unstable man made it past your checks and balances, got on the show after your multiple rounds of interviews, broke down on international television because a woman won't be intimate with him, and she's only asking him to wait 4 weeks. 4 weeks. She didn't ask him to wait for life or months. 4 weeks until the wedding. He is breaking down. You want to know why? His masculinity is made of glass. It is so fragile. It's so weird because Edmund appeared as authentic, but he has no sense of individuality and is extremely insecure. This is a person you thought would be good on the show. Sometimes the production of Love is Blind goes so far. They focus too much on entertainment. Because they're trying to make the show entertaining for us, they make it very dangerous for the participants. This is ridiculous. So if the cameras were not there at that moment in time, what would he have done to that lady? What would he have done to that lady? Let's have an honest discussion. If the cameras were not there, what would he have done to that lady? Because he's the only man who is left out. He has to rectify it.